Okay. You know, I'm not sure this was the best place to try and farm intact raptor horns. This seems like a place where there's always people. I'm gonna layer here. I am on layer 1, right? I think I am on layer 1. Maybe not. Oh? Do you want? Okay. Hello. There we go. Nope. I am on layer 1, indeed. Okay. Derp. I'm actually just gonna Frost Nova this. I should probably be more aggressive with my Frost Nova. Especially because I'm about to have Cold Snap. Well, I'm not about to have Cold Snap. I'm actually about to have Improved Blizzard. There we go. Permafrost is done. Alright. Start getting real. Start getting fucking real about this. What's going on? What are we doing? What are we talking about here? Is this... let's actually do this guy here. Because I'm very low on mana. I don't want to get into a double fight. Okay, we're done here. Alright. It's time to find Mancrick's wife. My wife! My wife. My wife. I've killed so many of these guys, and I have not found a single kidney. How rude is that? Alright. I'm not going to actually do that, because I'm going to save the melon juice by allowing my mana to regenerate. Right here. It is 7:32. I need to get to Camp Torajo. It's a bit of a trek. I gotta make sure I don't get killed by whatchamacallits. So Camp Torajo's there. I gotta find Mancrick's wife. My wife! My warrior needs to do SFK. The thing is, I don't have challenging shout yet. You can blow me. I'm not really going to pay much attention to my mana here. That is not, what? This is not high EV utility usage, but I'm busy, alright? Okay. Ooh, blood shards. I already have the tusks quest. Okay. Is there anything I want to get rid of here? Clam meat. More like clam up. Am I right? What is happening here? Okay, I think I need to stop disenchanting stuff and just bank this. And I think what we do is we take the L on enchanting. We'll just do that. Start collecting blood shards now. I think we take the L on leveling enchanting here. We'll just enchant with what we've got. So we'll go train whatever enchantment spells we have, and then take a break from enchanting. Storm Snout. Do I have time? No, I really don't. I really don't. I need to just go. I probably should just skip like all quest objectives and literally just book it to Camp Tarajo, because I have to get back to. I was about to say Stormwind. All right, wrong faction. I have to get to Orgrimmar for Onyxia buff. Lakota money, please, invite me. All right. Lakota money. Whatever. Okay. Lakota money. All right. I am low-key. Oh no! Mancrick's wife is dead. My disappointment is immeasurable. And my day is ruined. I gotta be more careful about... Ooh, set my Hearthstone to Camp Tarajo. That's a good move. Especially since I'm going to Orgrimmar. It should be less than 5 minutes to Orgrimmar, right? It doesn't even have to be like less than 5 minutes to the flight path. It just has to be like... I think the total flight time has to be... can be 1 minute over, and I'll still get to Orgrimmar in time. You just have to be in the city limits. Okay, so it may not look like it from the guild chat here, but I was actually this guy. There's this guy here. Granny has a bucket full. What? Okay, he's who is it? Where's my man? Where's my guy? I hope he didn't die. Booty. Oh my god. Oh yeah. WTS Puddles is like a bona fide lefty. It's actually a guild full of like, not like... Wait, what? Who the f... Are you joking? Did they push it up? They pushed it up, didn't they? They pushed it up. No. Was it? Must be another guild. Gotta be another guild. I swear to God. Oh my God. That is such bullshit. Wait. No. Alright, listen. We're gonna... It's alright. We chill. You know what we do about it? We chill. Alright? We chill. We don't assume the worst, and we chill. I'm gonna vendor these because I need money more than I need enchantment mats. Now, we chill. But it might be the same guild. Okay, let's do this. Get the Camp Tarajo flight path and fly to Crossroads. Instead of flying to Crossroads, how about this? I turn off autofly. And we fly to Orgrimmar. That's exactly what we're going to do. 3 minutes and 41 seconds. We're going to go to Orgrimmar. And we're going to chill. We are not going to lose our cool. Getting thumbed down on the Discord server. So the problem is that washed up tends to blow these. I swear to God, if it was washed up. Was it washed up or just unannounced? I shouldn't ask this in looking for group chat. I asked it in looking for group chat, which you're basically asking a room full of people who just lie for no fucking reason. You should never ask a general chat about world buffs, because they will just lie to your face. Dear Lord. Okay, well, the problem is we don't know if it was washed up or dropped it. Let me slash who washed. Wait, no. Okay, slash who washed Orgrimmar. Okay. Getting brigaded in the fucking Discord server. The problem is it's very, very, very rare for Onyxia to drop unannounced. So the most likely explanation was that they dropped Onyxia 10 minutes early. The trouble is that, like, you know, agreed. The only thing I have to say is that she seemed to care about 9/11 first responders, or that might have been just to get votes, but not a fan. That is true. I read it and addressed it hours ago. Some people on Twitter need to take a Turing test. I'm flying to org anyway. There was an unscheduled 737 drop, but that may well have been the 745 drop. You see that guild has a reputation for you know fall damage is a thing. Washed up is the reason I unsubbed. They dropped the Onyxia 10 minutes early, which is basically destroying my life right now. Onyxia dropped 2 hours early. Onyxia dropped 10 minutes early. I'm dropping Onyxia 745 server. Okay. Alright. Someone from Washed Up said they're dropping it at 745 ST. Get here ASAP. People are so mad, lol, it's their buff. That's actually unironically true. The entire world buff system is designed so that guilds dropping world buffs for themselves are able to share with the server and communicate when they're going to drop stuff so that people can be in Orgrimmar at that time. But the problem is you're not actually entitled to another guild's Onyxia head buff. Like, it is a system, like, technically, guilds are allowed to drop they're allowed to turn in their Onyxia head whenever the fuck they want. right? But if you do participate in that system and you say we're gonna drop Onyxia buff at 7:45, you should drop it no earlier than 7:45. I think that's completely reasonable. So you can drop Onyxia buff completely impromptu whenever you want. That's totally fine. Just don't announce you're gonna drop it and then drop it 10 minutes early. I think that's totally fair. You know, it's like if you volunteer for something, right? If you volunteer for something, then you should show up. Like, if you sign up to volunteer for something, you should try and show up to the thing, right? Well, specifically, if you volunteer for something that is either like scarce slots or they commit to things, the people that you sign up to work with commit to something because you committed to them, then you should honor your commitment. Hey! Bless you. Who is the slash who's Sark? Was it Sark something? No. Slash who washed. Who was it? Who dropped it? Forgot their name. Sask Blue. Bless you, Sask Blue. Priest and druid buffs, please. No. G, thanks. SF, whoa, hey, listen. We don't endorse that kind of language here. All right. Rend appears to be on cooldown on all layers. Rend on cooldown all layers. Am I reading that my add-on correctly? Non, je ne regrette rien. Je ne regrette rien. Je ne regrette rien. Ugh, my français is very, very, very problematically bad. Oh, je ne regrette rien. Je ne regrette rien. Je ne regrette rien. Hey, it works. Oh, rien de rien. Oh, je ne regrette rien. 59 dropped frames? Alhamdulillah. All right. What were we talking about? Yes. When you commit to a thing, even if you're just volunteering it, if you're giving of your time, it's very kind of you. I have dropped out of things that I signed up to volunteer for, but I think they were all things where people always get more signups than people who commit to the thing, you know? I have dropped out of things. I've dropped out of phone banks specifically, right? Which is rough. I don't... Ooh, damn, just missed the roll. Ooh. It's tough because, like, yeah, shit comes up in, like, in stuff like that, right? Of course, when it comes to Onyxia buff, it's like, no, just wait the extra 8 minutes. Jesus. Place you cannot go. Simba. We were kind of talking about, we were kind of just shooting the shit about ooh, felt like a proper 2-day shadow. Only took me 5 days. 5 days for my 2-day shadow to kick in. Turn in stolen silver. Let's go. Let's do it. I Probably need to go do Wailing Cavern soon. I'm sure they're gonna... Settlers leggings, ew. None of that. I say that, but I wore these on my warrior. What? That was intense. Greater Magic Essence. Transform value. So maybe over 5 silver we vendor it, and under 5 silver we don't. We disenchant it. I think that's probably the party line. No, that's only for it's only for weapons though, I think. Okay, we'll figure it out. Incantations from the Nether. I still haven't turned in my Ragefire Chasm? Shit. What are we doing here? Like, what is this, I don't know. This guy is tripping. I think this guy does not understand how much rested XP has changed my... I'm just gonna go... I'm gonna go to Thunderbluff. And, ooh, maybe even Undercity. I'm not sure. Apothecary Zama. The Stagnant Oasis. I guess I don't have to, as long as it sends me to... It should send me to Thunderbluff before I hit 20. So there's no value in... Well, I am here, so I might as well. And Crick's wife. Rest in peace. I'm gonna go ahead and double check that my dear Lord. Oh, I'm on the wrong screen. Eek, 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 eek. Okay, go back. Blitzed. Oh, I was looking at the book Blitzed because there was some tweet. It's basically some Zionist account was calling out a person wearing a keffiyeh and reading Blitzed, which has like on the cover a wait, hold on. Let me focus up. What the fuck are we doing? Oh, right. Twitch.tv/Shantastic93. It has like a picture of like Hitler looking goofy on the cover, and if you only glance at it, it kind of looks like a Nazi book. Whoa, hey. It has like a picture of like Hitler. Okay, all right. Goofball. Can I dismiss? It should be way easier to dismiss messages. I'm sorry. It's so annoying. It's very obnoxious. Goofball. Yes, okay, that shows up. Let's go to YouTube. Welcome to YouTube. All right. Where are we going now? Turn in Varog the Dervish. Hezrol Bloodmark. Oh, it wants me to do all this shit? Okay, let's go. Let's go. I'm not afraid. I am not afraid. Let's do the bags and sacks thing. I said sack. 1, 2, 3. It's fine. This will pay for itself. And I'm about to turn. Whoa. Wait. Hey, what's going on? Hey, whoa, hey, there. Okay, there we go. I'm the greatest rapper ever, and I'll weather you think you're better or not. You think we're clever, you're not. Don't need a sweater, I'm hot. I think... Wait, hold on. What's going on? What are we doing here? Let's do this. We're gonna make a greater magic wand. Wait, should I make a greater magic wand? This is real min-max, but... So vendor sell price is $15.35. Lesser magic wand I think sells for $5.08. So it's definitely more profitable to make a greater magic wand. It has to be 3 times a lesser magic wand minus 76 to be worth it. I think it is. That's fine. That's good. We're just going to sell these because by the time I'm going to need those for bank, I'm going to be able to afford them from the vendor. Tel Abim banana. Tel Abim banana. Let's get the Senjin root over here. Strider meat. I know I need that. We'll sell the old money bag. Okay, that's enough time wasted on inventory. The hoof of Lakota money. That's a super Tamil-coded name. Lakota money. What are we talking about right now? What are we talking about right now? Leftist propaganda in guild chat. Okay. It's a hell of a... follow the stream. Oh, like, comment, and subscribe. Haha. Okay, that's good enough. Let's see if that... Yes, it does compile in YouTube chat. So we're good to go. Now I'm going to turn these in. What were we talking about in guild chat? There was some shit. Like this guy just randomly started talking about like the expansion of rent-seeking behavior under capitalism, and I was like, okay, all right. And then he was like, you look up to... I mean, it was not particularly effective leftism, but I think I brought it... I think we started bringing it to, like, more dinner table issues, like... I don't know. You can tell that it's not particularly effective leftism when you're talking Marxist theory and people don't understand you're talking politics. I don't know if that's but it's a breath of fresh air. I was about to say it's a fresh of breath air, but yes indeed. On a server full of I don't want to say Nazis per se, which it's not all Nazis. I think a lot of it is just people who love memeing as if they're Nazis. Let's say good. Speaking of Indian coded names, I'm just going to run away from this guy because it doesn't seem like there's much. Oh, nah, I don't care. All my alts survived the purge. Okay. And even if they didn't, you can always get them invited back. All 9 tunes comfortably in the guild. Not neglecting the alts, I see. Don't neglect the alts, darling. My regeneration is gone already? That was a crazy short hour. Okay. Hezroll. We're looking for Hezroll. Update the target macro. Hez. Yo, Hez. Hez is dead. Corpse is still up, so we're gonna layer. Layer 7. Okay, we'll take that. Yeah. And it was really interesting. TY. Am I on layer 7? To switch. It was really very interesting. sometimes you actually have to talk to a leftist. And the thing is, like, alright, so first off, my credentials as a trademark term leftist are questionable in certain circles, right? I consider myself of the left in that I dislike capitalism. I would like to drastically reduce the power of the bourgeoisie, and I believe in an all means necessary approach to preventing oligarchy in the United States and generally in countries. I think that the general ideal of social democracy is inadequate, and I am ambivalent. Ambivalent not meaning apathetic, but ambivalent meaning I go back and forth. What we usually say to mean agnostic, but agnostic actually means I'm not interested in the question. I'm very interested in the question of, like, whether there is a mixed economy that can be aspired to that will work, which I think the answer to that is maybe, possibly, probably not, but also that, like, I'm not sure that socialism itself is an achievable ideal, but rather that, like, the most stable state is the constant mutual antagonism between a very power-limited capitalist class and an extremely empowered democratic economy. So I'm always for, like, empowering workers, empowering consumers, and disempowering monopolies. I'm for robust antitrust. I'm for robust unionization, robust democratization of workplaces. I think those are all good things. That said, I generally describe myself as a leftist, in that I dislike capitalism and I agree with all the political goals of socialists. At least short and medium term goals of socialists. But all of the leftists that I talk to, or lefties, you know, maybe I'm a lefty but not a leftist, right? Who knows? Semantics. But all the lefties that I talk to in a day-to-day setting understand my politics. So we don't do, like, the, you know, the kinds of conversations that you have when first meeting someone to establish that your politics are all the same, you know. I hate Hillary, so do I, you know, the thing that Trumpers do. Actually, Trumpers don't need to do that because they're all wearing MAGA hats, but leftists actually, it's funny because, like, you know, leftists actually do hide our power level because being of the left is something you actually get canceled for. In this way, leftists are similar. I'm actually not going to say the sentence, but, like, it is akin to how being extremely right-wing, you know, the most right-wing kind of person you can think of is, starts with an N, ends with an I. You also have to hide your power level, right? So, like, leftists will suddenly start talking, and then they'll be like, oh, no, like, I'm on the team. And it's interesting having one of those conversations because it starts to illuminate certain things about, like, the place that we're in, where it's like, there was, like, a normie in the guild chat. So there was a normie in guild chat who was just like, oh yeah, what's going on? What does this mean? What does all that mean? And someone was talking about rent-seeking behavior. And rent-seeking behavior is, like, kind of like the word rhythm, where you know what it means, but you don't really have a definition for it. And the person gave a definition of, like, a person who buys up all of a commodity in order to basically charge rent for its usage. I was like, oh yeah, that is what rent-seeking behavior is, you know? It's not that I didn't know that, but I didn't quite know that. I knew it to the point where I could use it in a sentence, but I could never actually define the term, which is not good. You want to be able to define terms when you use them. Probably put on dampen magic just to be a little extra protected, for extra protection. And then I was trying to look for an analogy because this guy's talking like very dense. He's talking very bookish, and I think and that other person was like, kind of joking of like, haha, welcome to my economics history lecture, and he wasn't doing it to mock us as leftists. He was just kind of like, just bantering. And I was like, yeah, but it's really important that we know this stuff because the worst people in the world are benefiting and specifically engineering a system in which we don't know any of this, and that is how they keep their power, I was thinking about it. What was my point to that? I really didn't have a point. I never have a point. But it's fascinating how if you bring up Ticketmaster, everyone understands that Ticketmaster and Live Nation they're scalpers, right? They are the worst people in the world. Not literally, but they are analogous. They are a paragon. They are not paragon. They are a real life allegory. Not allegory. They are a representation, right? It's an archetype. The worst person in the world is represented by that archetype. Is the rent seeker, right? The person who brings no value, absolutely no value to what it is they're actually selling, but simply by virtue of ownership. That's what Live Nation / Ticketmaster is, right? That's what scalpers are. That's why people hate scalpers. People hate scalpers because scalpers are rent seekers. What they do is they buy up tickets that are they buy up venue tickets that are undervalued, that are being undervalued, and then they sell them for the price that they know that other people are willing to pay. Now, scalpers do this with a luxury good. And they're still pieces of shit, but people hate them not because they're withholding something necessary, but because they're withholding Taylor Swift tickets, right? Which, I guess reasonable people can disagree with unreasonable people over how important Taylor Swift tickets are. But what's interesting is we rightfully say that Ticketmaster is the scum of the earth for effectively running a scalping business. They just run it before the official point of service rather than after, which allows them to make their money above board, and call themselves a middleman instead of a scalper, right? But we're able to call them the scum of the earth because they are. But we're not able to do the same thing for businesses that... Did I go this guy? No. Okay. We're not able to do the same thing for businesses that are significantly more insidious in that they're not withholding Taylor Swift tickets. They're withholding healthcare and food and not agricultural products, but agricultural supplies that in turn drive up the cost of produce and things like milk and eggs. Milk and eggs are very competitive goods that it's very hard to price gouge on stuff like milk and eggs. It's not impossible. But you've got... Oh, god damn it. You know what? Back to layer 1. Hey, it's Frost Girl. Girl's on every layer that I need to be on. What was I saying? Milk and eggs. Now, it's very difficult to price gouge milk and eggs themselves. But the stuff you need to maintain a farm on which you raise chickens and graze cows. That stuff is much easier to price gouge on. That stuff is much easier to withhold. That stuff is much easier to buy up, right? Obviously, big agriculture is a thing. Where can I just stand that I will find Hezrol the moment he spawns? Gesharahan. Gesharukan. Yeah, so it's fascinating that, like, we just let corporations get away with doing what Ticketmaster does, but they do it with healthcare, they do it with education, they do it with food, they do it with agricultural supplies, they do it with everything that we need to live. Because the fundamental difference is not that we value Taylor Swift tickets over eggs and milk, which some people do, but I don't think enough people do that it makes the material difference. But the difference is that Ticketmaster is not dumping billions and billions and billions of dollars into radio channels, into talk radio and television channels and YouTube channels, and dominating the airspace of every single form of media, right? That's the material difference. That is the difference, is that they're able to get away with that because they just very, like, Aldous Huxley-esque, like, just overload every single airwave with blatant disinformation. And people can understand that the information is false. But all they have to do, they don't even have to put out information that people believe. They just have to discredit the media, right? Their job is, their goal is not to radicalize people or indoctrinate people toward the right. Their goal is simply to depoliticize people by getting them to stop paying attention to whatever media form. So they undermine the media form by spreading disinformation on it. They make it one of these things where it just becomes very easy for a person to be like, yeah, well, all the parties are bad, all the media are bad, it's all bad, like, I'm not going to vote. Their goal is to depoliticize, and they do it through right-wing propaganda, but they also do it through this, by engineering a disdain for the political, right? One of my favorite memes is one of those, like, surveys that asks you what your race is, and then the drop-down list says white, and the two options, white and political. Obviously, it's not funny when I quote it, but it's like it's very incisive, where what they do is they take every term built out of a politicized empathy, and they tag that to politics, while they create this notion of normalcy and defaultitude, so to speak, to make up words shamelessly, around whiteness, around straightness, around cisgenderness. Sorry to use a slur like that. But, yeah. And then what they do is they depoliticize people by basically spreading disinfo in a way that undermines the medium that they're trying to undermine, right? So they can turn you to the right, or they can erode your trust of the medium. Either way, it's working out in their favor. It's fascinating and deeply fucked up. Level 28, new PB. Hey. Congrats. Okay. So I'm going to kill some Snapjaw here. New high score. All right. I'm going to turn up the volume a little here. Okay, I think from here I'm just going to work my way up counterclockwise. And hopefully somebody spawns. Somebody stop me. Pretty Viridian faces like mine. Don't come a dime a dozen. I stand on the throne. Babe, when they made me, yeah, they broke the mold. Alright, gang. Let's spread out and look for clues. Wholesome and kind, stat and refined, totally out of my mind. Well, sinners in their dwells had better learn to decorate prison cells. Green goes with anything if I ask, see? Well, there's one last thing I gotta sing about. Open up wide and really show. Whoa, look out. This is the mask. Scoob? That's a Fred line, you idiot. God damn. My guess is he hasn't spawned. So like camp and caverns. Well, I'm Deco, Roman, Greco, Rococo, Barocco. Deco, Roman. Rome, no, what is it? Hezrol? Jack-o'-lantern and life sip. Roman, Greco, Coco, Barocco. Somebody stop me. Pretty Viridian faces like mine. Somebody stop me. That's 5. What's beef? For our 5th. See anyone? Whoa. Dumbo, pain. You can't take me at my 18, and you don't deserve me at my 24. Oh, I wonder if you can... Oh, okay. Well, it's too late now. I wonder if you can actually, like, do a 6 thing where you drop the group. Is it a... So... I've been here a while. TBH. So I think so. UI. Okay. Okay. Time for new things. Let's go farm some centaur bracers. Ah. All that's to say. No, that's exactly what I meant to say. Is that's how billionaires use conservatism, and MAGA is like the ultimate vehicle of this, right? They like, if you think about it, like the level of self-delusion that's required for you to, one, believe that, like, at the core of right-wing ideology, and at the core of MAGA as well, is like you can't actually have a self-sustaining right-wing movement like MAGA without people fundamentally understanding that empathy as a human trait, especially as a political trait, is a liability, right? If you concede that empathy is a desirable human trait, all of right-wing ideology has to fall on itself. You cannot believe that and also believe in right-wing ideology. It's not possible, unless you're just a complete moron. Which, most people are some level of moron, but I don't think most people are complete morons, right? It's the fundamental self-delusion. You have to grant the premise that strength is the most important thing, despite the fact that Trump's a bitch, right? Like, Trump's like a total bitch. But the notion that strength is the most desirable trait in politics, and that nothing else matters other than your ability to win, right? Even if it's delusional to think that Trump embodies those traits, well, strength is projected by unearned confidence, and Trump projects unearned confidence, which is how he projects strength. Even if he's not strong, he projects strength by proxy through the unearned confidence, which is what Americans associate with strength, is bravado, right? Machismo and bravado. Machismo is also the wrong word because Trump is not very masculine either, but he has bravado. He has New Yorker bravado. And you have to genuinely believe that bravado is the most desirable political trait, because strength is what matters. Your ability to take what you can is what matters. And nobody else is going to give it to you, right? There is no such thing as a government that's fighting for you. That's one of the pillars of conservative thought. It's one of the lies that they tell you, is that government can never work for you, because government is government. It's a system full of bureaucrats, and all of them are fighting for their own shit. There is no such thing as a government that's fighting for you. You have to believe this to be a conservative. You have to believe this to be a libertarian. The problem is, if you believe that, and then you turn around and think, oh, but Elon Musk, this guy, this billionaire, somehow gives two shits about me and is the one truly fighting for me against the corrupt bureaucrats in government, against all the corrupt people making $60,000 a year, who are doing way more that is corrupt than the richest man in the world, who, rails against undocumented immigrants, but was himself in the country illegally when he first started working here, when he first started creating whatever, capital he had. Creating is the wrong word, but this guy who was like, born with a silver fucking spoon in his mouth. It is two completely mutually contradictory positions to have. You cannot believe that empathy is a weakness and that strength is the only thing that matters, and nobody is on your side, and that all power corrupts and absolute power always corrupts absolutely. Well, no, that part's true. But You cannot believe that nobody with power is ever going to part with it. And so there's no such thing as a government that can actually work for you. And also believe that, like, the most powerful, richest man in the world is magically, like, working for free, fully altruistically, in the benefit of the working class. It's an insane position to take. Because your politics rely on an absolutist notion of an absolutist notion that empathy is simply not a trait that people with power have. Yeah. Like, which one is it? You gotta pick a lane. But the truth is, most people don't actually scrutinize what they believe. Most people don't scrutinize, most people don't examine their beliefs. They don't question, like, oh, is this actually a cogent line of thought? I love how the color of the barrens is reflecting off my face when I run into the mountains. It's great. I don't have to worry about my my cam color bleeding. Or at least my complexion. My complexion always fits whatever screen I'm looking at. Yeah, most people don't really examine why they believe what they believe, whether what they believe is consistent, internally consistent, you know? Which is just like a reality of the world. I'm gonna go ahead and grab these quests now.
I am honored.
So what they do is they get you to hold mutually, completely contradictory views. And the way that they do it is that they form communities around political thought, right? Because all the logical sound argument, all of the philosophical soundness in the world cannot overcome basic peer pressure. When your community is linked to your politics, there is nothing outside of that community that will ever break you out of your politics. It happens. The problem is we always think, oh yeah, but this person was in a cult, this person was in a cult. You have to understand that is the outlier. That is the exception that kind of proves the rule. Exception that proves the rule is a stupid saying, but that is the exception that highlights the rule, right? That's another... Actually, you know what? Let's rant about that. Exception that proves the rule is actually an incorrect term. Exception that proves the rule, what you mean to say is the exception that is oftentimes associated as a rule of its own through the file drawer effect. But the truth is, it is the exception that kind of calls attention to the rule, which is the cult is a cult, right? If the exception was a rule, the cult would not be a cult. Cults are cults. Communities themselves act as cults when they are formed around a political ideology. Like if you look at Trump towns. Hell, actually, we don't even have to look at we don't even have to call Trumpism a cult in order to get at this. Look at sundown towns, right? Sundown towns are a perfect example of this dynamic. There we are. Sundown towns are basically places... There's another Onyxia buff, right? At 855 or something? Yes. No, that's tomorrow. Okay, never mind. Sundown towns are a perfect example of... So sundown towns are basically places, you know... I don't... Maybe it was post Jim... I think it's post Jim Crow, right? Skip this if it's too difficult. Oh. Does he look like a bitch? I'm so going for this. I am so going for this. I guess this would be easier with whatchamacallit, but so sundown towns are like obviously. Now this might come as a shock to some people, but there was a time in the history of this nation where our country was not very nice to black people. I know, it's crazy. Fortunately, all that's in the past and we've solved racism completely. But back in the day, white people used to go up to black people and they used to do this thing, and now, jokes aside, I'm going to talk about lynching. They used to lynch them. Yes, sir. I was going to try to solo. Bring you in. And I was like, aw shucks. Oh well, guess I won't get to do that now. I'm so funny. I'm sorry. I think I'm actually very funny. It's a, I'm also not a solo spec mage, so probably not a smart idea for me to try to solo whatchamacallit. What was I saying? Yes. I almost died to him on my war 3 times. Bored, waiting for my group. Hiding him. On the bright side, I got way better at kiting. I had too many target dummies. Anyway, I almost completely blew it on Clomzar. I almost got clowned. I almost got Clownzard. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so sundown towns are a place basically where they were called that because if you are black, you don't want to be there after sunset. And this was in a post Jim Crow era where lynchings were not, obviously had been outlawed in the country generally, if not in every single state, where certain states have only very recently outlawed lynching, and I'm not even sure that they're illegal in every state. But what was I saying? Oh, there you are. Okay. Alrighty. Okay. Let's do this. Watch out. Just run out when you need to. Oh, I could solo this. I could so solo this. Yeah, you just take the ads, and I got Kromzar. Nice. Wait, that was so good. Gonna try to solo next mage. I think I got it. Well, you taking ads could carry. A little more. Um. Cool. What are we even talking about, dude? But like, yeah, so like I don't imagine every single sundown town is so yeah, so all that's to say the reason they're called sundown towns is you don't want to be there after sun. What is happening? All right, there we go. You basically like the idea is if you're black, you don't want to be there after sunset because you're gonna get lynched. That's the meaning of the term. I believe. I think. God, I hope I'm not getting that completely wrong. Now, it's not like those towns had zero connection to the world. They got television, they had radio. It's not like these people were unaware of the cultural changes happen. Like every single person in these towns was unaware of the cultural changes happening in the world. But when you grow up in a culture, you can know it's wrong, but simply be unwilling to engage in the work to bring that knowledge to your conscious, right? There's a difference between having the knowledge and the intelligence and the I guess you could say wisdom. Wisdom's a weird, it's like a hackneyed word there. But all of the knowledge in all of its senses to understand that something is clearly wrong, right? Racism, hate crime, that kind of stuff. You can know it's wrong, but not really internalize it. And it's very easy to avoid internalizing it, in truth. Do I have any food? I don't have any food, okay. That's okay. These are green mobs, I've got it. It's easy, it's gonna be easy. And these guys don't have any, yeah. Let's do this. Releash. I only have 3 lions here. I'd go for 4 if I had 4 here. Okay. I really don't need to be this far. I shouldn't be this far. But, okay. The Nova didn't break. That's fine. Because you actually want them to stay on the Flame Strike land. I wonder if it's better to Arcane Explosion more at first. This is probably a situation where I should be using Senjin Root to min-max my drink usage. This is a bit of a detour, but I think it's worth it. Because strictly speaking, I was supposed to farm these when I was actually, like, doing the other quests on the Prowler. But I didn't have the keg that gives you the quest at the time. But yeah, there's a difference between having the knowledge to change your behavior, or there's a difference between having the knowledge that makes your behavior untenable, right, with your soul, and bringing that knowledge to the place in your conscious mind where it actually does change your behavior. And I think it's a huge, like, oh my god, what's up, dank crepe? I think you should get the fuck out of my chat. Did that work? Add to block list and restream chat. Could do that. No, let's just go and ban them. Alright, I'm gonna have to wait to ban this guy. Disavowed. Nobody go to this person's site. Remove the space? I'd rather just remove you. Haha, got him. Fucking got them. What am I? Dashboard. Stream manager. There we go. I'll just have that window open. We are not gonna AoE. the Witchwing Slayers. Because I did actually literally lose a mage trying to AoE the harpies. Not the harpies, but the slayers specifically. Goodbye. See you never. And then just drop a little block as well. So it disappears from my chat. Nope. Okay. And it's actually important that, like, the human ability to suppress emotions and guilt is a big one. The human ability to repress sensations that are not primary contributors to your survival, right? And if anything, guilt and shame are not only secondary to survival instincts, they actually directly undermine them, right? They're sensations that are good in a time where survival instincts are not necessary. They get in the way of survival. But when I talk about survival, I'm talking about like running away from lions and things that are going to eat you. Running away from Witchwing Slayers who have execute. So maybe you shouldn't be at 35% health and still trying to fucking AoE them down, but we don't have to litigate my past mistakes. It's an example of guilt. Or shame. I don't know if it's shame or guilt, but it's one of those things. But because of that, it's very easy to suppress forms of guilt here, meaning the sensation of understanding that something fundamental about the way you live your life is wrong, right? It's very easy to suppress those things. So actually allowing knowledge to change your behavior is a very difficult thing to do. And all of, especially American society, but capitalistic societies designed around entitling you to the fruits of your ignorance, you know? Because society works best when poor people who are completely fucked in life are fucking each other over rather than actually rising up against the conditions that are causing them to be impoverished. And right-wing media and right-wing ecosystems do this incredibly well. If you ever look at a Trump town, that's exactly how it works. Being for Trump is the cultural institution. To question that, it's not just like a cult where it's like, oh, you're not allowed to question the belief system. You are socialized into the system. It is your support. It is your survival. You are throwing away your life when you throw away the ideology. That is a scary thing to do. And what makes those systems so sustainable is that they are largely apolitical, right? Supporting Trump isn't apolitical, but all of those other things, being white, being straight, nobody questions the political nature of those labels themselves. Those labels themselves only exist politically, specifically as a tool of distinguishing oneself from people who are not white and not straight and not cisgender, right? Obviously, cisgender, it's like, you know, people are like, oh, there's no such thing as cisgender. It's just, that's a slur because it's just normal. There's no such thing as trans is the real thing, right? Which, you know, distinguishing yourself from transness is different because transness is not yet fully accepted as a real thing. But the same thing would have been said about heterosexuals 50, 60 years ago, back when people were still having to live gay life completely in the closet. The idea that, like, cisgender isn't a word because being trans isn't a real thing. The distinction doesn't exist because the thing that distinguishes itself from the norm isn't real. That's the same thing that was said about being gay. Obviously, you can't do that about womanhood, and you can't do that about blackness. So that wasn't a thing that people were able to do. But about anything that people were able to get away with doing it for, they did, you know? and specifically around sexual identities and gender identities. People do it around autism. Well, now everyone accepts that autism is a thing when they have because they need something to scapegoat for why vaccines are bad. But like neurodivergence, right? People still don't. There's entire swaths of like society that still don't think ADHD is a thing. They don't think that mental health is a real thing, which also feeds into them being able to pathologize autism, because when mental health is not a thing, developmental disorders are not like an entire branch of psychology. It's just like, oh, autism is a disease, which also means you can pathologize it, which also means that you can say that people who have it that's not a natural state, right? That like being on the spectrum is not like just a thing that happens to some people and it's a perfectly fine thing to be. It gives you some disadvantages in life, and it also gives you some like allows you to do some things that neurotypical people don't have as easy of a time doing, right? Like it allows them to pathologize what is accepted as real while allowing them to deny what is inconvenient for them to acknowledge exists. I think things like clinical depression as like an actual psychological condition, anxiety disorders, like they can they can depathologize those things as simply weakness, while then repathologizing the things that are real that allow them to also form narratives around things like vaccines, So it has like this double, it has this two-pronged value. This one I will AoE because I think it's actually safer. That'll swan you down. So what that allows them to do is protect this idea of what is normal, right? They protect this idea of what is normal. They delegitimize anything that they can say doesn't actually exist. So being gay used to be that thing. Then once being gay was accepted into the norm, not the actual state of being marginalized, but the sensation of being marginalized was diluted, which meant that it was possible to be gay and conservative, which is something that wasn't possible back in the day. Now gay conservatives are like a real thing. Of course, again, it's unironically a chickens for KFC kind of thing, because the moment it becomes acceptable, of course they're gonna start restart the delegitimization of being gay. But for the time being, it's possible, right? And so, like, all they have to do is retcon their delegitimization of whatever thing that is. So before being gay was a legitimate thing, where it was possible, you're either legitimate, in which case you are able to have access to the privileges that allow them to indoctrinate you into the cult, or you are not a legitimate identity, in which case your entire existence is treated as political. While the norm that you're existing in not in opposition to, but in distinction to, is normal. So how can that be political, right? It's all like the taxonomy of it is like, it's all designed to create this false depoliticization of people, where people think that by being just overtly reactionary, they're actually just being normal and apolitical. And that's what allows things that are in effect cults. And I would say that any Trump town is a cult. But the thing that distinguishes it from what people would call a cult is that it's not observably a cult it's harder to escape, because it doesn't have things that when you point them out to somebody who is aware of what a cult is, they're able to say, oh, wait, yeah. Because what they do is they take all of the politics of cult membership, they take all of the markers in the community that show, so the how would I say it? In order to be in a cult, you have to have an ideology, right? So they take the ideological markers of the cult and they depoliticize them, so they no longer seem like ideology, but rather they just seem like normal façon d'être, right? Normal facts of being. Hey, it's the guy I killed the Kromzar with. Clownzard on Kromzar. And to be quite frank, it's a thing that's uniquely possible in the United States of America because the rugged individualism of this country is cancerously, like, deep. It's like, it's so deeply injected into the blood of this country. It's an infesting force. So when I say we are so deeply cooked, it's not that there's no way out for us, but like the road to the salvation of this country goes through a very serious and systematic deprogramming of all of the insane fucking things that we believe as a national culture. Chief among them being that you are always the most important thing in your world. By far. That you and yours, the tribalism around the individualism of this country. It's deeply nefarious because it allows people to, it's funny because like people talk about patriotism and nationalism, and like fascists especially are like super big on the jingo. But nobody in this country is actually willing to sacrifice for the country. Everyone who thinks they're willing to sacrifice for the nation is actually just, what they're doing is they're willfully giving up their freedom for the sensation of having a person. They're giving up their freedom for a religion, which is believing in this supernatural figure who is fighting on their behalf, even while he very transparently lies to them about that fact, right? But ultimately, the thing that they're fighting for, the lie that they're fighting for, is not even to the benefit of anybody other than themselves. Like, it's not even that, like, oh, Trump is fighting for our country, so I'm willing to make sacrifices for our country. It's Trump is fighting for me. So I trust in him no matter what he says, no matter what lies he's caught in, no matter how he shows himself to be a complete fucking liar. I am willing to sacrifice whatever because I know that he is fighting for me. Even while he steals my money, defunds my Medicaid, takes away my Social Security, defunds all of the services that allow me to live my fucking pathetic little existence. And when I say pathetic little existence, I'm not talking about the person. I'm talking about the conditions that the average American who votes for Trump lives in, which is complete squalor. And that is squalor brought on by billionaire ghouls like Donald Trump. And they continue to vote for him, not because they genuinely think he's going to restore them back to their status, or restore them to whatever status they think they deserve, but because they want to believe that they can be restored, and to frankly and honestly assess their conditions would be to acknowledge that they don't actually have that kind of direct control over their lives. So it allows them to feel control over their lives, right? Which is exactly what leftism, by the way, does for the average individual who is a leftist, is it makes us feel like we have agency over our lives and the lives of our community. But the difference is that leftists, I think, are motivated both by a desire to actualize, I'm talking about like disenfranchised men mostly, but like the average leftist who gets into it with hopes of self-enfranchisement, obviously I'm projecting a little here, gets into it not only in the interest of actualizing ourselves, but a desire to a desire to self-actualize while also performing service to something that is greater than ourselves, right? It would be so much easier to become a Nazi, I swear to God. Especially in this day and age where you don't have to fucking leave your house at all in order to cope with your depression. Like, if you're depressed, all you gotta do is go online and delude yourself into, like, right-wing ideologies. It's so much easier to become right-wing. Because there are echo chambers all over the internet that will 100% welcome you in, create a community for you, or create a community around you, and foster that community to your benefit. And the only thing you have to do is not disagree with them politically at all on the basics of women bad, minorities bad, gay and trans people bad. Gay people maybe are okay sometimes, but trans people especially don't exist, are invalid, and, you know, all of the ableist conspiracies around trans identity, right? Like, all you have to do is buy into the hate. Not to, like, get too 1984 on things, but, like, all you have to do is participate in the scheduled daily hate. And if you do that, you're part of the group. It's extremely easy to be right-wing as a form of feeling a sense of importance as a man. It's difficult to dedicate to something in your community. It's difficult to get involved in your community in this day and age if you're not somebody who is brought up in a tradition of community involvement. That's part of the reason that, like, people from marginalized backgrounds, people from economically disenfranchised backgrounds are, privileged leftists are the ones who are more online, while the leftists who are more involved in their community usually tend to be from more working class backgrounds. Or at the very least, tend to be people, if they are from middle class backgrounds, have been initiated through organizations, through leftist organizations, in their universities and academia, which, by the way, is why the right wants to defund academia. Community is a more powerful political tool than debate has ever been. Whether it's logical, whether it's illogical, whatever. The right understands that, and they foster communities that are entirely designed around it. And they depoliticize the fuck out of every marker of privilege. Specifically with the interest of getting people to see that which is an interruption of power and privilege as inherently political and therefore undesirable. And at the same time, they take political media and they fill it with disinformation, which either you believe it, in which case you are radicalized toward the right, or you don't believe it, which undermines the medium at play. I talked about this before, but I'm recapping it. I'm recapitulating it. It undermines the medium in your eyes, which depoliticizes you as a person, right? I don't want to keep using depoliticized in different ways. It politically deprograms you. It deprograms you from politics, makes you not want to pay attention to politics, and then what they do is they depoliticize all of the things that they want you to defend. Whiteness, straightness, cisness. Being a man, right? The one thing that they have to do is they have to code misogyny, which is perfectly fine with them because misogyny is an evergreen characteristic in men. I don't think you will ever be able to fully take the misogyny out of the men because, like, you know, it's one of the things that men do. You know, we spit, we drink beer, we play sports, and we hate women, right? I guess women are allowed to play sports so that we can paint trans women as a threat to them. But let's be real. If trans women didn't exist, no right-winger would give two shits about women's sports. And in fact, would probably actively discourage women from playing them. Let's be really real. I really hope this doesn't get me killed. I'll be fine. I'm totally fine. I'm totally fine. I'm totally fine. That's exactly what I say when I'm getting a little scared. Alright. Where are my tusks, dude? Where are my tusks, man? What are we doing here? I guess the point of all of that is that you should join DSA. Because the only thing that will beat the right is community. Debate's not going to beat them. Democrats who tell you to vote, who tell you to like check a box every 4 years, and that's the entirety of your civic duty. Which, by the way, you should vote. You always should vote. If you're not registered to vote in New York, please register with the Democratic Party and vote for Zohran Mamdani, who's pretty much the only community leader who's running for mayor. Rank everyone but Andrew Cuomo and Eric Adams. Keep corruption out of the mayoral office. Keep corruption out of Gracie Mansion. Rank Zohran number 1. But you should consider joining a community organization that is actually devoted to community outreach. Not just like weekly meetings of like, you know, let's all get together and hate whoever we want to blame for our problems, right? Because at the end of the day, the person to blame for your problem, there is no one person to blame for your problems. Systems are to blame for your problems. If you want to blame people, you got to blame the people who uphold those systems. That system specifically is capitalism, right? Capitalism is to blame for your problems. Capitalism, specifically oligarchy. Oligarchy, which is exactly what we live in right now, and Elon Musk is a perfect example of that, an unelected billionaire who has unchecked power in the government and is the vanguard of executive overreach and basically doing a bunch of shit that is supposed to be done by Congress. Instead, he's doing it all himself. We are living in oligarchy. Oligarchy specifically here being the point where democracy no longer exists, where elected officials are no longer actually making the laws, and instead the laws are being made by uber rich people who have not actually been elected, yet still have total control over the vessels of government. We're living in an oligarchy. Where am I going? Now, oligarchy is still a system. That is what's to blame for our problems. But the nature of populism is that it is a power shift, right? Populism is a power rail. People need something simple to blame for their problems. So if you're going to blame someone for your problems, make it the closest thing to being technically true. And the closest thing to being technically true is that a bunch of ghouls with a lot of money are paying a lot of that money specifically to make sure that you don't get access to any of that money. That is what is happening right now. Those people are ghouls, right? And removing certain billionaires, removing Elon Musk from, so let's say that I could snap my fingers and Elon Musk didn't exist. Obviously, I can't do that, which is why I'm hypothesizing about it. If that was a thing that was possible, I would not be fantasizing about, you know, doing anything that would cause Elon Musk to stop existing, because that was against the Twitch terms of service. But let's say that I could snap my fingers and Elon Musk would no longer exist. Would that fix capitalism? No. But is he the best enemy to paint? Yes. And the reason for that is that he is actually to blame for a lot of the problems that we have now. But beating him is not going to fix the central problem. He is simply the person who has positioned himself to benefit off of that, right? That's what an oligarch is. An oligarch is the person who is lucky enough to be the person who gets all of the benefits of the power. But the oligarchy itself cannot be fixed simply by killing the oligarchs. You can't kill the oligarchs and fix it, right? Which is not to say that'll hurt the problem. But it's not going to fix it. There are systemic fixes that have to be made. So you should join organizations that argue for those systemic changes. Namely, you should join organizations that advocate for workers to have more ownership and power and agency in the workplaces that they have. You should join organizations that advocate for consumers to have power and agency in the transactions that they partake in. Specifically, organizations that advocate for unions, for union organizing, for cooperative ownership of companies, and cooperative ownership of housing. Of course, except for my apartment, in case my landlord is listening anywhere, I am not trying to join a co-op at all. I love my landlord, and I am fully beholden and completely loyal to him in every way, shape, and form. Would hate for him to misinterpret me like that. Oh Lord, there's so much shit this thing wants me to do. Alright, we'll go kill some Grim Totem. So join DSA. Don't be afraid of the S word. I'm not a socialist. I'm still in the DSA. The reason for that is I believe in community. I believe in not letting billionaires control a system that controls our lives. I believe in drastically reducing the power of money to buy political power, which it has unlimited amounts of right now. And the only way to do that is through confiscatory taxation. You just have to take away the money, because the only function of the money is to be hoarded as a symbol of power and status, and to exert political influence. Bill Gates can completely fuck up an entire country's education system out of his own God complex. And it cost him, and I know he can do this because he did do this, and it cost him about as much in terms of percentage of his income, not percentage of his wealth or income, but specifically what it would mean to him to have that money back. About the same as it would mean to me to have an extra $12 to buy a meal from my local falafel place. That's about the difference. Maybe even a little bit less to him than that. Maybe a cup of coffee for the meaningfulness of what that means. Probably a cup of coffee's worth of meaning. That's the amount of meaning that much money has to him. The amount of money he spent basically pioneering not the American school charter system, but transferring American education funds, public education funds, to the charter system. Doing something that massively gutted the power of our public education system to no apparent gains in educational achievement, as per a study that was conducted by the Rand Corporation, which is literally a libertarian think tank, which is a pro-privatization think tank that basically said, oh, we're actually no better off than if we had listened to the teachers. Except the material difference is you now no longer have a public education system in which you can continue to grow a real sustainable publicly owned education apparatus, right? So all of the money spent transferring that power and transferring that authority, and the only thing you've done is introduced a profit-seeking middleman into the center. You've just brought contractors into the government. Which means that you now have an education system whose primary goal is efficiency, because what they're trying to do is produce results for the government secondarily to simply making more money than they spend. right? So their only allegiance to results is specifically so they can keep their contracts, which means what schools are going to do, what charter schools do, is in the interest of being able to present educational achievement as opposed to actually achieving educational outcomes for the public, instead of looking for communities and demographics and people where public education, the goal of public education, is economic equalization. It's to provide economic mobility by finding people who need that mobility and providing it to them in the form of education. Instead of doing that, I think I should just get rid of the strider meat, right? No, let's do the calico gloves. Let's actually... Yeah, let's make some bandages. That's probably the best thing to do. So make bandages up to 75 at worst. So what you now have is an education system that has the same level of achievement, no better achievement. There are arguments that the achievement is worse, but I'm not fully convinced by those arguments. But no better level of achievement, but you've replaced the people in charge of it from people whose primary responsibility is to find ways to educate the public to people whose primary responsibility is to look like they're finding ways to educate the public. Because you've taken a salaried incentive to serve the public and replaced it with a profit motive to show the federal government that you're delivering on your promise to serve the public, which are two different things. Because what charter schools do, as I was saying, was instead of looking for the lowest achieving places where economic mobility was severely lacking, what they instead did was they found places where confounding factors and confounding variables were making it easier for children to succeed in school. And instead of selecting for, they weren't selecting for students, but they were selecting for families. And they were selecting for circumstances. So they would look for working class families who were more likely to be able to succeed in a public education system, and pulling those families in to the system in order to maximize the numbers of how high the achievement was in the school. But what that ends up doing is you wind up leaving the families who need the benefit of the public education system most in the dust. So if you look at an inner city school where outcomes seem really shitty, right? Even schools where there's violence, where there is like precursors to, like, if you look at like neighborhoods maybe in the inner city where there may be gang activity, where there may be like, you know, juvenile delinquency, and you look at schools there and then you see a lot of juvenile delinquency, you see a lot of violence, you see a lot of bullying, you see a lot of you see a lot of antisocial behavior. Your first thought is, wow, those schools are really not doing their job. But you have to examine the schools in context of the societies. Like, imagine what would happen if those schools did not exist. Those schools are the most important. They are mitigating damage in places where that damage is where that mitigation is most needed, right? That is a highly socially desirable outcome. If you abandon those schools, what you are doing is you are abandoning those neighborhoods to continue to be petri dishes for antisocial behavior, because that is what impoverished neighborhoods are. Even leaving aside the fact that those are human beings in those neighborhoods and they deserve to be educated, they deserve economic opportunity, they deserve the chance to go to college, and they deserve the chance to make it not out of the circumstances of their village, the circumstances of that environment, but specifically the opportunity to be able to improve the circumstances of that environment. People in inner city, in a high crime, high poverty, high population density, inner city environments deserve the opportunity to be able to go to college and then go back and actually read and build, you know? the results oftentimes speak for themselves. When you're able to get people from rundown neighborhoods and send them to college, very often what they do, and you know, there are programs that do this, where very often people are able to go back to those neighborhoods and actually make real changes, whether it's as entrepreneurs, or if it's as educators, or if it's as other things, you know? Like, there's so many different ways you can serve a society if you're just given the tools to do so. And there's always people in every community who want to do it. The charter school system is not incentivized to see those things. But the charter school system exists and has massive, like, institutional power in the United States. And it's all because one mega billionaire had the money to write a check and buy out the government to let him do it. It is a moral failure on the part of society to allow someone to have that much power. You cannot have that much money. I'm sorry. Nobody can be trusted with that level of power as an unelected official. If you want to have that much power, you had better have to win 51% of the vote in that country to be able to wield that much power. Now, we don't live in such a country. You can actually get elected off 48 to 49%. You can actually get elected off like something crazy like 37% of the popular vote. But, you know, it's still better. You should have to win an election in order to have that kind of money. Bill Gates did not win an election that gave him... Bill Gates had no mandate, to use a buzzword in the media. Bill Gates had no mandate to completely fuck with the public education system in this country. But he did it anyway because he had the money. Elon Musk obviously has absolutely no authority to defund Medicaid, defund Social Security, completely pillage USAID. But that is what they're trying to give him the power to do. He's already done it with USAID. And he's able to do it because he had the money to buy off a presidential candidate and said, I'm going to deliver you the entire tech voter block, as well as the level of money you need to win over all of these voters, and the amount of money that you need to win over a big chunk of other voters as well. And all you have to do, and I know you don't want to be president. I know you don't want any of the responsibilities associated with being president. I know you just want to be president so you don't have to go to jail. So why don't you become president and just let me run the country? And Trump was like, yeah, it's the best of both worlds. Because fuck if Trump wants to actually be president. Hell no. I mean, he wants to be president for the importance of it, I guess. But the man does not want the responsibility that comes from it. So yeah, it was a win-win-win-win. The only thing is, I'm sure it's a bit of a hit to his ego to have to constantly kiss Elon Musk's ass, because he has never glazed a person the way that he glazes Elon. But, you know, small price to pay for your freedom without having to pay the subsequent price. Oh, fuck. I realize I'm about to hit 20 and I have not turned in any of my Rage Sarcasm. Okay, I should be fine. None of those will go gray, but it's still going to be an experience drop. I gotta catch these. I gotta catch these and actually dump these quests before they become green, so I can actually get the full benefit from them. All right. Have to layer here. Oh, I have have to keep reminding myself it's not his fault for starting a quest because he didn't know I was there. It is the fault of a terrible game design, and we're all choosing. We are all here by choice, choosing to play a 21-year-old game with absolute dog shit player design. Layer 5? I am on layer 5. Okay, where the fuck is Kaya? God damn it, where's Kaya? Alright, I'm getting quite tired, so yeah, like, just be real about the problems, man. I know it's not. It makes it harder. It makes all of this harder. It is harder because you can't just, you can't do stupid simple stuff, right? You can't just blame the Jews. It's unfortunately not that simple. You can't just blame like some random cabal. You can't blame George Soros, right? Now, obviously, like, most of the bad guys, the puppet masters that conservatives will scapegoat, there's really no way to like follow that through to its logical conclusion without it actually being the Jews. That's actually why like every right-wing movement winds up being Nazi, including, by the way, the Hindu fascist movement is like, they've gone to the anti-Soros rhetoric because right-wing ideology cannot survive without a core of anti-Semitism, because logically it just doesn't compile. Now, obviously, you could choose another group to scapegoat for the problems. You could choose another group to say is the puppet master, but I think the problem is that anti-Semitism is so well established as the conspiracy theory of choice that it's the conspiracy theory of choice, so like it would just be very inconvenient to sub in a different group. I think it's probably why anti-Semitism is like the choice hate. But yes, it's hard. You can't blame immigrants for your problems, which makes sense because immigrants have no fucking power, or at least illegal immigrants don't. Like by the mean average, the South African immigrant community has quite a lot of power in this country. That doesn't mean that there is like a global cabal of South African immigrants or South African diaspora that is like trying to fucking control the United States of America. It's just that, Elon Musk is a psycho piece of shit who happens to have massive amounts of money and is using it to... He's using it to hate you. He hates you. It's not just that he loves himself, which he doesn't. He hates himself. You can tell in every single public appearance he has. The man is deeply uncomfortable in his own skin. But he also hates you. In fact, he hates you to cope with hating himself. A man cannot be that lacking in riz. People say, oh no, he's on the spectrum. Yeah, I'm sure he's on the spectrum, but like, that doesn't account for it. The spectrum, being autistic doesn't mean you hate yourself. That doesn't account for the severe lack of charisma that he has. That goes beyond social awkwardness, goes beyond poor socialization, goes beyond, oh, haha, I'm autistic. I'm neurodivergent. And frankly, yes, it has affected, it does affect the way that I come across with people in public, sure. But the man is just he oozes self-loathing. Like, it should be clear at this point, right? Like, if you are remotely comfortable with who you are, you're just not that awkward. You're not that awkward. He's so insecure about every fucking thing he does. Have you ever seen him make a joke? You know how some people like telegraph their jokes? People telegraph their jokes by like basically like, you know, they'll get into like a thing, they get into like a certain cadence, and then they'll be like, so what about, like, what is the deal with, like, that kind of thing. Should have tried my improved lizard. Actually, I really shouldn't have, because I literally only have the one rank of it. How many? What is that? Oh, it's a 40%. Wait, that's actually not bad at all. 40% is actually pretty good. You can get a grouped AoE farm in from there. What were we talking about? All right, telegraphing your jokes. People who get into a certain preparatory cadence when they're about to like tell a joke. Elon Musk does like the opposite of that, unless that is what telegraphing your jokes is. Like, have you ever noticed that the guy tells a joke, and then there's a 45-second epilogue to every joke he tells, where he's like, get it, because, you know, I want to bring up like a proper example of this because it's so fucking funny. It's actually so funny. I'm sure there's like an edit of it. I wonder if what's his name? There's like a bunch of like of those YouTube edit guys. I'm sure one of them has it. Is there a vendor here? I really want a vendor, but there's no vendor here. God, this place sucks. Malika Jin, more like
What you want?
more like Malika Juiceless. I had to use a slightly offensive accent there in order to be able to land that joke. But notice how I didn't telegraph it. I didn't like, you know, I didn't explain it. I did have to apologize for it. For not the least of which reasons was it was just a terrible reasons for not for reasons not the least of which it was a terrible joke and it was not funny. But I didn't go like, yeah, because, like, you know, comedy is so illegal now. That's what I should have done. I should have been like, legalize comedy, because my joke sucks shit. Oh, man. Elon Musk tells a joke. Legalize comedy. Legalize comedy, am I right, guys? Legalize comedy, am I right, guys? From the man who owns, like, the biggest social media platform in the world. Honestly, that's an indicator of insecurity. Maybe this is getting a little deep into the memes, but, like, I think it projects insecurity for you to be complaining about the amount of power that other people have when you are almost objectively one of the two most powerful people in the world. You're certainly the most powerful private citizen in the world. Yeah. Where's the sign? Where's the Bessie sign? Isn't there a Bessie sign here? Or maybe that's... Oh, that's where it is. Yeah, it's over here. Alright, YouTube is not nearly as based as I thought, so I have to rechange the tries to tell a joke. There we go, that should get me. What it's like having a no! God! Fuck. YouTube sucks, dude. For all the shit I give it for being owned by Elon Musk, if I googled Elon Musk tries to tell a joke on Twitter, the site he owns, it would roast him immediately. Oh, let's actually ask Grok. Let's check with Grok. This should be funny. Do an impression of Elon Musk telling or trying to. I'm gonna poison the water a little. I'm gonna poison the well a little. Trying to tell a joke. Let's see how this. It's okay. First, I gotta screenshot this. All right. And because I'm a politically dishonest actor, I'm going to also do the prompt to do an impression of Elon Musk telling a joke, and if it doesn't give me something as funny, I'm going to go with trying to tell a joke. Because I'd rather poison the well than give up the comedic value. But here it is. All right, let's read it. Let's actually check it out. All right. Hello? Chrome. Grok. Alright, so this is Grok doing Elon Musk trying to tell a joke. Clears throat, adopts a slightly awkward yet enthusiastic tone with a hint of a South African accent. Okay, so why did the rocket go to therapy? Because it had too many exhausting relationships. Yeah, you know, like whoosh, up into space. But still baggage, right? Anyway, let's colonize Mars. Pauses, grins expectantly. Was that good? I'm still working on the delivery. Maybe I should get a Tesla AI to optimize it. Alright, that was okay. That was okay. Let's refresh. I don't wanna poison the well anymore. Wait, no, hold on. How do I reset? Can I reset? I guess I just open a new thing. Grok. I'm using my last minutes of okay. Do an impression of Elon Musk telling a joke. Okay, that's not as accurate. It doesn't do the whole thing where he like explains the context of the joke, right? How many woke scientists does it take to change a light bulb? 106. One to change the light bulb and 105 to cover all the pronouns. Because, you know, all the pronouns that they have because they're all woke, right? Because all the Z's, they, here's, and zers, you know? Like, listen. He's just a sad little man. I'm sorry. I'm belaboring that point, but he's a very sad guy. Alright. Quest log is full? I think your quest log is full of shit. Fucking got him, dude. Deviate hides. Let's get rid of that. What level is Basilith? Oh, arachnophobias. Okay, Basilisk is a yellow mob. Alright, I might actually go for it. But if Basilisk's level 20, I might just go for it now. I just have to clear the landing pad as well. The only thing I'm a little scared of is I don't have Shatter, but I guess I wouldn't have Shatter anyway. No, I wouldn't have Shatter anyway. So I guess I'm not really losing much except like no Frostbite. I don't have improved Frost Nova. But I do have Permafrost. I wouldn't have Piercing Ice. What would I have that I don't have right now? Improved Frost Nova. And that's it. I've improved Blizzard and Permafrost instead of improved Frost Nova. Best of it. Let's just get rid of that. Alright, where's she at? Where's she at? There she is. All right. Bessie, your days are numbered. All right. How do we do this? Oh, well, that's not good. Okay. Well, that was stupid. Uh-oh.
First warning.
Okay. All right. If I died there, that would have been very funny. Okay, okay. What, did I get the fang? I did get the fang, alright. Alright, I just need, eggs. In my defense, in the mage, I said, do not speed me. That's true, actually, and I think I got it on stream. But pre-blink. No, I'm not that brave. Zarya could solo no blink. It's soloable no blink, but like I'm not. You're not that guy, man. Trust me, you're not that guy. Excuse you, sir. You have the gall to attack me? Me? Do you know who I am? I just almost soloed Bessilith, who's way more powerful than you. And if I almost soloed her... Do I have Blizzard? No, I don't have Blizzard. No. I have improved Blizzard, but I don't have actual Blizzard. That's the weirdest thing about AoE builds. Okay. Alright. Alright, I gotta find some eggs, man. Where's my eggs? Oh wait, hold on. Poisons, what a thing. Oh, if y'all are done, I'm gonna do eggs in the other zone. Bam. That's all you. Go ahead. Go ahead and finish up here. Dread it. Run from it. Deep Moss Matriarch arrives all the same. Alright, okay. Yay. Okay. I was so dead there if I didn't. Though, honestly, if I may have been more careful and actually control moused over. Like, I would have control mouse. I do usually control mouse over, like, even groups of non-elites that I'm about to AoE. Like, I'll check their abilities first. But sometimes I don't do it, and it's more often that I don't do it when I'm in a group. So it's possible that I actually had a better chance against Bessie. Like, I would have seen, oh, she has a web ability. I should make a point not to break Frost Nova. But it's also 11:45 at night, and I'm very sleepy, and I'm already not as good at Mage as someone with my level of experience on Mage should be. So it's also entirely possible that I would be dead as shit. One can never know. I probably would never have the presence of mind to literally just drop a sheep, because I'm just too tired, and I'm not actually in soloing elites mode. So it's a good thing that they showed up. Okay, I don't know if that is a safe place to be. But let's stay away from the big red people with question mark levels. Barumph. Don't woof. Oh, woof. Has anyone seen that video? I say, has anyone seen that video? I don't have any viewers right now. This was a good content day. Actually,
Hey, how you doing?
Actually, this was a, like, politics-wise, this was a productive stream. I talked about, like, useful stuff, in my opinion. What should I get rid of here? Well, I better decide quickly, because I'm being fucking attacked, man. Jesus. So one of them. Ooh. Grab that. Mm-hmm. It was an embarrassingly bad messy attempt. Yeah. No, I mean, I did it at 22. So there's no reason I shouldn't be able to do it at 20, being a fresh ding with absolutely none of the abilities that you get at 22. What could that you get at 20, including Blink, the thing that allows you to break roots at will? What possibly could go wrong? I don't know why it sounded like Jerry Seinfeld there, but you know, that might have been one of the dumber decisions that I've ever made on OMH. And I'm actually counting. I actually kind of like that. Let's actually minimize this. And I'm counting the decisions that I made that led to me dying to Yetis. I'm actually counting those. Speaking of dumb decisions, I was considering AoEing those spiders. Don't AoE spiders. Especially when venom spitters are a thing. Get the fuck away from me, assholes. Whoa, hey. We don't need you. You're good. You're good. These spiders you can AoE. Though actually, I don't know. It is a little dubious because you could summon the matriarch and be completely out of mana, but as long as you don't lose all your mana doing it, you should, it's okay to AoE these guys. I'm considering if I want to disenchant some stuff. This is probably worth disenchanting? Nah. You gotta go fast. So the way I see it, it's only worth it to disenchant. So the problem with disenchanting is that disenchant value accounts for the money you make off strange dust, which you don't make any money off strange dust. You do make money off of magic essence when you're self-found. You can't make money off strange dust when you're self-found. So essentially, you lose the average of one's, you know, it's like 1 to 2 silver for every strange dust disenchant. And then it's 5 silver for the lesser magic essence disenchants. But then you lose all of the money. So it's 0 copper. You make 0 copper off the disenchants. I'm actually going to get full distance here, and the reason I'm doing that is specifically to time down my Frost Nova cooldown. Because if the matriarch spawns, I actually want my Frost Nova to be up. What was I saying? Oh wait, I should get rid of something. Let's just blow a lesser healing pod here. I don't want the pride wings. Let's blow a lesser healing pod here. I'm just gonna do it now, honestly. Oh, that was almost the full value. That was actually, you know, in the average range of full value. Okay. Because I actually have to get rid of these eggs so that they'll respawn. Pretty sure all of these are used eggs, and I need them to respawn for me. What was I saying? Alright, so disenchant value accounts for the fact that you'll be able to sell strange dust for 1 silver apiece, and you'll get 1 to 2 strange dust, or you'll get a lesser magic essence. The problem is, you can't sell anything if you're self-found. Now, the lesser magic essence you can convert into money by creating wands. So you can make greater magic wands, which basically is about 1-to-1 value on your essences. So you're getting the same thing you would get for selling those essences on the auction house. I spend way too much time min-maxing this kind of stuff. So then the average value of actually disenchanting stuff goes way down. It goes way down. Like crazy, crazy, crazy low. Because the only time you actually make money on anything is if you get a lesser magic essence. So on average, like, you only get like 1 silver from each disenchant. Now, if you're leveling your enchanting, it's obviously worth it. It's worth it to disenchant everything because it's the only way to get shards. But if you're not leveling your enchanting, and you're just trying to make money, then maybe it's just better. Like, I think it's probably one of those things where it's like every like, you know, few intervals of, oh, my Onyxia is done. Of course it's done. It's been a very long time since I got that. Dude, Greater Magic Wand is so cracked. It's crazy. Yeah, it's probably one of those things where, like, you should spend a certain period of time where it is particularly conducive to whatever you're doing to actually enchant your gear. At that point, you just level your enchanting, enchant all your gear to level your enchanting, and then once you're done enchanting all your gear, you just start vendoring stuff again. Bank all of your shards, go start leveling again, and then once you replace all your gear, then you enchant it again to level your enchanting, and just keep doing that, right? So until your gear is enchanted, maybe you disenchant stuff. And then once your gear is enchanted on whatever level of enchanting you have, right? So right now I have to get, like, probably grab some lesser magic essences and stuff. Maybe it's worth it. I don't know. We'll find out. I'm not going to do it now, though. Content farm continues. What is happening here? Did I do my Duolingo for today? Or was that yesterday? Killer Lenny. I've not done my Duolingo. I'm going to do my Duolingo, like, right now.
The father.
The father. That's the father.
The father.
Guys. Oh my god. Oh my god. I cannot believe it. I'm doing the thing. I'm doing the thing right now.
Health warning. Health warning.
Thank you for that, I guess, for just giving me free ticks of the bandage.
Health warning.
Okay, we're not gonna risk it. I did the thing where you don't pay attention to what's happening and then you just die. That's crazy. Jesus, you opened Duolingo for 2 seconds. The mother. That's mother. That's mother, by the way. I just did it. I did the thing that we always mock people for doing. It's like, why do you alt tab? You're playing hardcore, right? And I was about to run out of power and fortitude. Imagine if I had run out of power word fortitude while over pulling while playing Duolingo. I was like 5 seconds off that exact thing happening. Oh, man. Clip that. I'm gonna go ahead and clip that shit. Well, we're gonna clip that shit. All right. You gotta make sure. I'm just gonna drop a cheeky clip right there. All right. Listen, this one I know is a chain aggro. So if I pull, bam. That's all it takes. That's all it takes. It's so easy not to die as mage. All you have to do, and this is hard, all you have to do is be looking at your monitor while you're playing World of Warcraft. That's all you've got to do. Oh, is that so hard? Yes, it's actually that hard. Oh, dear Lord. All right. Now I'm going to run in and I'm going to Fire Blast them because I really just don't want to take damage. And also I want to reduce the amount of coverage. Distance is also coverage. And more coverage means more aggro range because there's his aggro range and there's your aggro range. Dear Lord. All you've got to do is be looking at your monitor, which is exactly what I'm not doing right now. We can do this after stream. I'm not going to be streaming for much longer. Either I'm going to die, in which case I'm going to cut stream, or I'm going to be smart, and in order to not die, I'm going to cut stream. Either way, we're cutting stream soon. This is not a stream that goes for 45 minutes more, because if I try it, I am dead. Jesus. You know what it is? I definitely had Mana Shield last time I was here. And I think that just, like, completely changes things. And I think I got real fucking lazy. I got real lazy. It's the same thing that happened on Bessie. I had Blink, and I had Mana Shield. Blink doesn't help you here, because you don't want to be blinking here, because there's a lot of mobs spawning in a lot of places. But Blink helps on Bessie, and Mana Shield helps here. That's the period. End of story. That's the big difference. I keep forgetting... Oh, nice. First drop. I keep forgetting that I am not a mage that has Blink. I'm just a mage that is eligible to train Blink. And those are not the same thing. No matter what the media would have you believe. Their house is old.
Het huis. Is ze jouw moeder?
Is she your mother? I'm just gonna sit here. Ik hoor mijn moeder. That means I hear my mother. That does not mean what it might sound like in English. I have no parents. That's really sad.
Mijn ouders hebben 2 katten.
My parents have
Hebben
2 cats.
katten.
Yes,
Ik
2
heb 2
pets.
vaders.
I have 2 fathers. Very, wow, DEI, super vogue.
Het huis van mijn ouders is klein.
The
Het
house
van
The house of my
Mijn
parents
ouders
is
is klein.
small. Yes.
mijn familie is groot.
Wij zijn een grote familie. Familie. Okay. Whatever, that's good enough.
De familie heeft een nieuw huis.
I'm up. Hij heeft geen familie. Yes. De vader kookt. Ik heb 2 moeders. I have 2 mothers. Woke. Willem, ik ben jouw vader. 11:59. I did it. I protected my streak. Good. 280 days. All right. Whew. That was close. Imagine if I had died on my mage and lost my Duolingo streak. That's crazy. What are we doing, man? What the fuck are we doing here? I don't even speak Dutch, man. Oh my lord. Oh god, this shit is cooked. Why doesn't it want me to get Sunrock Retreat? Alright. Well, the arrow says don't get the Sunrock Retreat flight path. So we're going to not do that. Small furry paw. Jesus Christ, I need to put dampen magic on. We're wanding here because it's higher DPS to 1 than start a cast when you know you're about to get hit. Imagine if I died and lost my Duolingo streak. I'll drop a level 20 mage for a Duolingo streak, and I will lose a Duolingo streak to save my mage, but I will not tolerate losing both. That would have been fucking terrible. That's so stupid. You know the funniest part? So I'm a music teacher, and one of my students was trying to learn the next measure of a piece while listening to me talk. And then I told him, what did I just say? Well, no. First, I said, you're playing that measure wrong. I'd like you to tell me what I just said, and he wasn't able to tell me what he just said. And I made a whole big stink about how if you try to do two things at the same time, you're just going to wind up not being able to do either of them particularly well. And then I almost both lost my mage and my Duolingo streak by trying to do both at the same time. It's crazy. Oh, that was cooked. Okay. Alright. Listen, we're alive, okay? We're alive, which means we got away with it, which means we can do it again in the future. That's the lesson to be gleaned from this. So fucking stupid. Okay. Alright, okay. I'm not still laughing at that. There's this there's this comedy sketch that lives in my head rent free. That like suddenly I was trying to sleep the other night and I suddenly started thinking about this old sketch from like 2000s Conan O'Brien. And then I just started laughing while I was smack in the fucking middle of trying to sleep. And now, anytime I'm laughing at something that's like laughing at something just by thinking about it, I then start thinking about that sketch because it's like the most prominent thing to pop into my head. So the act of laughing at something that is in the past then makes me think about the thing that most makes me laugh that is in the past. The sketch is... I was gonna play it, but I'm not sure if I can play it on Twitch. It aired on NBC, but I'm not sure if I can actually air it on Twitch. It might be a violation of TOS. I don't think it is, actually. It's the dumbest fucking thing that has ever been aired on any TV channel. And we're talking about the network that airs SNL every Saturday. Oh, God. I can't even say what the sketch is called because that's a spoiler. It's funniest when you don't see it coming. Oh God, I'm gonna have to cut this highlights video because this was a solid stream. This was a solid stream. And I can actually do the scummy politics content creator thing where I take entertaining content and I mix it in with like apt political messaging. Where it's like, yeah, I'm smuggling politics into everything, you know? Only difference between me and Asmongold is that like I don't lie about it like a little scumbag and pretend I'm apolitical. Also, my politics are not dog shit the way that Asmongold's is. God. Fuck Asmongold, by the way. Please don't aggro. 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 Okay, that's actually fine. That's actually perfectly fine. I'm gonna dead zone you here for a little bit. Oh, that was not a dead zone. That was a completely ineffective attempt at a dead zone. Alright, well. God, these guys chunk, man. It's crazy. Scroll of Strength. Let's actually... I'm gonna drop the slime meat. Pick up a Scroll of Strength and use it on that druid over there. A little random act of kindness. Alright. We're gonna watch that clip. We're gonna watch that sketch. Oh God. It wouldn't be a day. It wouldn't be it wouldn't be a day of Shantastic playing mage. My most experienced class pre-Mists of Pandaria. It simply would not be a Shantastic day if I didn't almost die on my most experienced classic class in just the dumbest ways multiple times over. Alright. Dear Jesus. Stop telling me to do stuff. No, I'm going to whatchamacallit. I'm going to Thunderbluff. Man, this shit doesn't want me to go to Thunderbluff. I'm gonna hit 21 long before the arrow sends me to Thunderbluff. Yeah, I've got like quests on top of quests on top of quests on top of quests that it wants me to do. No, we're going to Thunderbluff. We're gonna turn in these quests. I've got to get myself over to Undercity at some point.
Hey, how you doing?
All right. Hearthstone here. So I am not going to be in physical danger for the rest of the stream. Obviously, I'm referring to in-game. I was not at all in physical danger in real life. Except if you count almost losing my Duolingo streak, which you certainly shouldn't, but I question why you would. I think it's worth it to disenchant this. It's only 2 silver. I'm going to disenchant this guy on the off chance I get a lesser magic essence. Bless up? No. Did not work. I'm going to drop a little repair money here. For this, I will not disenchant. This... Ooh, this might be worth it. Wait, what's the average value? No, yeah. There, the disenchant value is actually completely correct. If your disenchant value on a weapon is lower than the vendor sell value, of course you should sell it. Obviously not worth. Vendor sell price 585, disenchant value 718. Yeah, that's worth it. That one's worth it. Oh my god, I low rolled. That's so sad. It's okay, because I actually need Strange Dust. I'm going to be buying new disenchants. I'm going to need Strange Dust for those. But I also need Lesser Magic Essence. And I'm not finding myself with an overabundance of those things. What else are we doing? What else are we doing? What do I need to sell here? Dude, my brain does not work right now. I'm just going to turn in Lakotamani over here.
Greetings,
as well.
we shall meet again.
Kill Storm Scouts, loot them for a horn. I'm gonna not do that. Kill a lot of Kobolds. I also don't need to do that. Does it want me to turn in blood shard right now? Oh, I don't have a blood. I do have blood shard. Oh, wait, no.
Well met.
I have to do the other quest first. Oh, I've got to run to Thunderbluff. I've not been to Thunderbluff yet. That's why. Ooh, I might stick around then. I might stick around. Maybe. No. No, I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna do that. We're just gonna run to Thunderbluff. Okay. Technically, I am still in some level of physical danger here. Because I'm going to Thunderbluff, which is a natural boss. A naturally occurring boss. I am putting trust in my ability to click slow fall or press Shift Z. Or, if I get blink first, to not die. I'm putting trust in my knowledge that I don't have blink and that I am going to slow fall in time not to die in Thunderbluff. And I'm going to very bravely say that there's no chance of me dying, and so I will turn off the stream right now. And I'm going to go learn all of my spells. There's nothing particularly interesting there. I'm going to go learn my spells. I'm going to go probably just get the flight path and then get my ass over to I don't know. Some fucking where. I don't know. I might just do some fishing. Oh, let's do that. I'm going to go do some fishing and watch a movie. And then I'll go to Thunderbluff and learn my spells. That sounds like a really great plan. It's a great way to decompress as well. Alright. One quick thing. If I don't hit 75 with my remaining 10 linen cloth, I'm not willing to risk my character. I was going to say I'll delete my character. I actually don't want to do that because it could well happen. I have terrible RNG on yellow recipes. I will feel very sad. Ah, I should have bet my character on it. Damn. Alright. Listen. I almost died multiple times today. I'm not feeling brave. But we are going to, we're going to cut the stream there. And I'm going to go do some fishing and watch a movie and go to bed. And I'm off tomorrow, so I'm going to do my laundry, do a bunch of work. It's going to be super fun. Oh, shit. I got you. And my UI is bugged, so it didn't show whether it's in view. Okay. Cool. Thanks for watching. Check out the YouTube channel if you want to see the highlights, but there's not really any highlights until I cut some highlights. So actually, if you're watching on Twitch, you're exactly where you need to be, but you're not watching on Twitch, so I have no viewers right now. YouTube.com/SeanKendo or in. Check out the stream at twitch.tv/Shantastic93 or right here in the